Okay, I'm going to say shalom. I just got in. There's a storm coming in, a snowstorm coming in. Uh, so what I'm going to do, there's no one here right now. I'm sure that it will be some brothers and sisters coming in early later on. So give me a few minutes to get settled. I wanted to start this at 8:30 to let you all know that I'm trying to be punctual as possible. So, but I just pretty much walked in about 20 minutes ago. So I'm trying to get situated. So relax, get your notes. I sent you all some emails in regards to what we're gonna go over, which is the breakdown of the word city. Of course, we broke down election and electricity from that particular word, and then we're going to go into the word city as you see that particular word in that actual you would consider it an abbreviative word. All right, so give me a few minutes, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Thank you most high for this day here. I wanted to get into this particular class. Of course, all these sessions will be considered private for right now. Due to I would say security purposes. I just want to be real. But those of you that have signed up, thank you most high for you all that actually signed up. It was just a couple of people. And like I said, I want to get into this particular topic. Of course, electricity we covered last week. I went into the actual word electricity and how it links into the actual the body itself, on how it's important for us to understand that there's a particular people in the world that has a different vibration level, and you would say an electrical output just a little different than other people. The Most High tuned these people a little different to be a special people to do his will. Now, this is not saying that we are better than any other people. All right. Am I talking about the children of Israel? Of course. The so-called Negroes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Everywhere you see a minority or whatever you want to call them, we are the children of Israel. Those of us that went through, our foreparents went through slavery, the Native Americans, the original ancient Native Americans, the indigenous so-called North American Indian, they are the children of Israel. Okay. All right. You got the Guatemalans, the Hawaiians. These people have a certain, you would say, electricity output within their body. Not saying it, again, I want to make a disclaimer, the other nations are included. But the reason why I'm going here is because we got to understand, like I said, I'm going to go through this as an overview. All the languages stem off the Hebrew language. All right, so that's what we got to understand. Without a Hebrew language, there's no Greek. Without the Hebrew language, there's no Latin. Okay, there wouldn't be no English. Without the Hebrew language, there's no Farsi. Without the Hebrew language, there's no Russian and any other type of Yiddish or whatever you want to call it. There wouldn't be no other language out there. Okay, so as we go on with this, I will show you how the other letters, when you look at them, especially when you see the Hebrew language, it will kind of be similar to an English letter. And I'll show you how the comparisons, how they use the letters as well. So that'll be pretty much later down the line when I go through these classes. Okay. So now let's go to the definition for abstract. Okay. The definition for abstract. I want to just start there first so we can understand. All right. The definition for abstract is existing in thought. So there's some history that the children of Israel do not know about. Now, I know I'm talking about the children of Israel a lot in this part of the lesson, because to the Jew first and then the Gentile. So what I have to do is establish a foundation so we can understand that these people that don't know who they are, and I'm going to read it again, existing in thought, because we know once we wake up that we are the children of Israel, you're going to find out that we just exist now in thought. We think about our foreparents on how they did certain things, or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. So right now we don't really have a physical or concrete existence, and I'm gonna show you why. So let's go to Psalms 83. Let's go to Psalms 83. All right. Psalms 83. And I'm start at the first verse, and it says, "Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace. Be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult." Okay, so the enemy is going to make a tumult, and the reason how they're going to do this, it's going to be an uprise. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come against the children of Israel. All right, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. So they took crafty counsel against thy people, and this is what they did to us. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So, based on verse 4, Psalms 83 and 4, all right, so let's read this existing in thought, the abstract understanding. Existing in thought, or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. You see that? Abstract concepts such as love or beauty, all right? Now, I'm going to read a sentence that was put together by dictionary.com, okay? And it says, "Since we've forgot the Most High." Matter of fact, I actually put this together, Slock it. We tend to pick up behavioral traits from the ancestors, which lead to abstract behavior. Okay. Since we forgot the Most High, we tend to pick up behavioral traits from our ancestors, which lead to an abstract behavior. It's certain things that we're going to do, not knowing that our foreparents used to do it. Like, for instance, when you look at ancient relics or ancient pictures of our foreparents, we think we came up with the waves brushing our hair. Nah, there's ancient pictures of our people dealing with waves, things of the nature. That's how you know who we are. A Hebrew brother got the waves and everything. Okay, so let's go and since we got an overview of what happened last week, just in case some brothers and sisters missed. Well, of course, a lot of people did miss last week, and that's just the way it goes. All right, so what I'm going to break down today is the word city. All right, but like I said, I have to use the word. So remember, like I said, I want to make this. I want to make this very clear. A lot of you may have to watch part two. Excuse me, part one of this. When you break down the word elect or election, okay, election is result search for election is Hebrew number 1589, eklege, all right, which means divine selection, abstractly. You see, that's the big word. Hypothetically or concretely chosen, election, which means abstract. Now, when you break down the word abstract, it goes into existing in thought. So that's why I wanted to read Psalms 83. So when it says in Psalms 83, and I'm going to start at the third verse, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. You see that? Hidden. There's something happened to us that we are considered hidden as a nation now, right? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You see that? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right. So let me just read verse 3 again. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted it together with one consent. When they're talking about one consent, it's actually talking about the other nations coming together in league with Esau. Okay, and I'm gonna show you that it shows that the first nation that came against us is our own brother, twin brother, which is Esau, the so-called European today. All right, not every European is, are evil people. All right, so I'm not, this is not that type of lesson, but I just had to show this is all stemming off the word electricity, because once you break the word electricity down, you'll see the word elect. Then it leads you to the word election. Now you got to understand, why would the word election link you to the word abstract? Because these people that are of the elect are the election of the Most High. Pretty much blew it because we didn't keep the commandments. That's the reason why that word, that's why I tell you, it leads you and links you all together with that understanding. Okay. So verse 5 says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. It's going to show you the first nation that came against us. And this is the last nation that, during this time, is coming against this right now. Okay. During these last days. All right. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Okay. When it says the tabernacles of Edom, it's showing you the first nationality of people, which are the so-called Europeans, the Edomites. It's the first nation. This is the original name where they come from. Esau changes his name since he like his pottage red and raw. Okay. That's what he deal with. You know what? I'm going to show you, because people, may think that I'm making this stuff up. All right. 1 minute here. I'm going to show you that if you just put in right now, do a soft search on Google, right? You do a soft search on Google right now and just put in man eating raw meat, right? This is how easy it is to get information. And what people you see doing that? It ain't no black people eating red meat. So these are the people, and like I said, I'm not jumping on you, because you got good Europeans, but I have to show this based on this class because we need to understand exactly what nation came against us first. Okay, they are the ones that like their pottage red. Okay, when you read about Jacob and Esau, of course, this is not that type of class. So I just wanted to show that. All right. So now, they had said, verse 4, Psalms 83 and 4. Okay, Psalms 83 and 4. These are not my words. And it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So there's a people that's going to come against the children of Israel, that's going to scatter them throughout the four corners of the earth that the Most High allowed to happen. And these people will forget who they are because of that. So you got the European that liked red pottage. He wanted his pottage red when it came to Jacob and Esau. He sold his birthright. He got mad at Jacob for he despised the birthright from the beginning. But he noticed that there was all blessings coming to Jacob. So he didn't have any respect for the birthright. So now these people miscued information, extrapolated our book, extrapolated important information out of our records because the Most High allowed this to happen. So when people go in the scriptures and they say there's dogmas and there's certain injections in the Bible is the Bible is a white man's book and all that. That's what they supposed to think. That's what they supposed to think because of Esau put his hands on the book to miscue information so our people won't read it. So psychologically, when you see the Bible and you see pics of our people getting beaten, whipped when it comes down to slavery, a lot of our people don't want to. What they try to do is equate their slavery with the book, not knowing that this man is doing psychological warfare on you. Okay, that's what's happening. It wasn't to the point where we were supposed to connect our slavery to the Bible. They just used the book, just like you will never find the marriage vows in scripture no way, but you will see the Bible open as a prop in a preacher's hand, trying to condone those marriage vows. Okay, so we have to understand how they use psychological warfare. They just use the Bible as a prop, just like they do in court. It's just no different. They use the Bible to swear on the book and all that. You're not supposed to do that. So because we're in the Western world and under Satan's authority, USA, what happens is you fall prey to their traditions and understandings, not knowing there's a deeper meaning behind their esoterics. Okay, so when you see verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. So they came together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Confederates mean they come together, they are league, they're allies with the Europeans that come against us. All right. And it's going to tell you Edom, which is Esau himself, the bloodline, the Edom, the red man, the man that loved his pottage red. Okay, that's who you took. That's what we're talking about. And the Ishmaelites, those are the so-called Arabs today. All right. The Moabites, which are the Jordanians today in the scriptures. Excuse me, not Jordanians, but you have the Moabites, which some people believe that they are the ones that are of Japhetic genealogy. Okay. They are pretty much like at the borders, so then you got, when I say borders, it's talking about the borders of Israel. All right. All right. And then it says, and the Hagarenes, that's another family of the Arabs today. All right. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, that's another seed. When it says Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, that's another seed of the Europeans today, Esau himself. Okay, so but let me just get back on the original topic, which is electricity. That's what I want to break. We're breaking down words. I don't want to push too much history at one time, but I have to show the reason why we don't know who we are. I have to show the reason why everything is abstract to us and how we don't understand who we are today. I have to go into that type of information so we can understand the reason why this definition ekloge in Hebrew number 1589 says ekloge, which is for the word election, means abstractly, hypothetically, or concretely chosen. Hypothetically speaking, let's say we are the children of Israel. Does it matter? I've heard these words. Let's say, how people always say that when you get in conversations with them, they want to turn a scholarly conversation, into an argument. I'm not going to go back and forth with our people if they want to bicker and argue. Now, I don't have. We supposed to be higher than that. You talk to people on a scholarly level. If they don't want to talk on a scholarly level, let the dead bury the dead. Okay, when I don't have time for, we don't have time to get our vibration levels all low, getting in debates and arguing with these people. They don't want to see it. They can't see it. The Most High is not calling them. It's just that simple. All right. So, and I'm saying that way because we have to take that mindset. We don't have that much time. We need to make sure that we're straight. We don't need to be bickering and arguing on who's going to see this truth. We see the reason why I wanted to break these these words down based on scripture is because it says election. You see that? So when you see the word electricity, there's a certain amount of power that's going to go through the earth. And this power that they don't know who they are, this certain particular power that they have within them, they have the God gene in them. They actually are looking for people. I've done a video on that. They're looking for the children of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth with this particular power. Okay? So let me show you. Let's go to Revelation chapter 17. These are not my words. I can break this down pretty easily now. Okay? Revelations chapter 17. 12, excuse me. Revelation chapter 12. And I'm going to start at the 16th verse. Okay? Revelation 12, verse 16. It says, and the earth helped the woman. All right? And the earth opened her mouth. So when it says, and the earth helped the woman, it's actually talking about records. Biblion that we're reading today, bibliography, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, a lot of our records that has been has been taken away from us. A lot of, like when you see the Dead Sea Scrolls, a lot of these scrolls were found covered up, so they won't be able to be touched. So the earth helped it because a lot of our foreparents back then kept these records secret in places, and it's being dug up now. Anthropologists and see this is what we're the people that forgot who we are, but the other nations know exactly who we are. The other nations know exactly who we are. We're the ones fighting to find out who we are. We're African American, we're Mexican, Jamaican, Latino, and all these different names. Puerto Rican. We think we everything except who we are. All right. So when it says verse 16, and the earth helped the woman. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to verse 15, because this is pretty much the reason why we need to understand that there is a specific people in the earth that, like I said, there's a genotype, God gene that's being targeted. And people, we think this stuff is fiction, but it's not. All right. All right. Let's go to Revelations 12, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood. Water as a flood. So it's not really water, but it's something like water as a flood to drown you, which means there's going to be certain ideologies, certain religions, certain traditions, certain holidays, and all the stuff that we're dealing with today is a flood of junk that we get into that causes us to be saturated. Like you hear the term watered down gospel. Okay, so that's what it is. And the serpent cast out out of his mouth water, as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Cause her. He didn't make her, but cause her, which means there's a people within this woman that will be flooded out, you would say. All right. That's what it's talking about. And the earth helped the woman. So, but you know what? The Most High is going to send some the angel to help the woman, the earth. Okay. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, which means there's going to be records that the babies, us, the younger generation, we're going to dig this information up out of the earth. Okay. That's what we're reading now. Just like the book of Jasher, a lot of stuff was wrapped to the point where it wasn't touched. Okay. After the flood of Noah. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So what's going to happen is the young generation, as you see today, Satan is still dealing with this, trying to find these people. That's why they're doing DNA tests. That's why they do all your vaccination program. Eugenics programs for the children of Israel and the children of Israel only. But you have some of the other nations that are in league with us get caught up in it, and they know exactly which people of the other nations are in league with us, and they go down with it. That's why when you hear our people say, well, it ain't just black people going through stuff, it ain't just this, it ain't. Yeah, you know why? Because the other nations that's going through stuff are in league with us. That's why. That's the reason why, period. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, which means very angry with this woman. Okay, so we got to understand who this woman is. All right. First of all, we got to understand that the woman represents Jacob, because Christ came out of the seed of Jacob, which links to the tribe of Judah. Okay, Christ come out of the tribe of Judah. All right, that's Hebrews chapter 7, around the 14th verse. And it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments. So any church that tell you that you don't have to keep the law anymore or the commandments is straight from the devil himself. Okay, because Satan is looking for the ones of us that keep the commandments, watch this, of God, and have the testimony of Christ. You see that? That's who Satan is looking for. So you got to understand this information that I'm going through, the electricity and all that. The word electricity is nothing but elect, and the word city. That's what it is. What people are scattered through all the cities, all over the world, colonizations. You can consider the colony to colonize a country or whatever. It still act as like a city, period. Because you take people and you scatter them, and then they forget who they are. They don't understand what their potential is really about. Okay, they don't have a clue. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 19. So I'm going to break down city so we can understand it. We already did part one, session one, class one. We dealt with election, but I had to go into it a little more as a preface or an overview, so it can be a little more clear, just in case some of you did not attend the first class. Okay, Deuteronomy, but it was public, so you all should have got it. Deuteronomy 8 verse 19, and it says, and it shall be, if thou do all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. Okay? It's telling you, you shall surely perish. Deuteronomy 8 verse 19. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord. Forget the Lord. We forget the Most High. Let's see, people don't understand how they forget him. Okay? Let me just show you something. All right. Like I said, I knew this was going to happen. I have to go through. Let's go to 1 John. All right. Because maybe some people just probably didn't know that this was in the scripture. Let's go to 1 John. Give me a minute here. Let's go to 1 John chapter 5, verse 1. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at the first verse, so it'll be very clear. All right. Now, when it says in Deuteronomy 8, verse 19, and it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. And see, the problem is today we don't understand that we're following other gods when you follow pagan holidays. We don't know that don't have nothing to do with Scripture. It has nothing to do with it. So what happens is we get caught up in our emotions, not wanting to hear the truth, because if you don't want to hear it, you know it's true. It's something in you that's fighting against it. There's a spirit involved. There's a barrier. Hold up, man. I don't want to hear all that. I know I'm wrong. I know I shouldn't. Then what they want to do is throw the ball at you. Look at your life. You know, what are you doing to make them feel better about what they're doing? So we know that psychological thing going on. But when it says in Deuteronomy 8 and 19, and it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after the other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. All right. So based on the Christian churches today, they teach you that you don't have to follow the law anymore. Right. This is what they teach. I've talked to a lot of people from the Christian doctrine. They tell you, yeah, we don't have to follow, we don't have to follow the Sabbath no more. We can eat whatever we want. Now, this is the stuff that they say. But I'm just going to read, because since we don't have to deal with the Ten Commandments no more, let's just see what this says here in the New Testament. Okay, so let's go to 1 John chapter 5, verse 1. I'm reading straight from Scripture. Whosoever believeth that Jesus is the Christ is born of God, and everyone that loveth him that begot loveth him also that is begotten of him. So we got to understand what this love is, though. You can say what love is, but there's some actions involved there somewhere. Okay, you can say to 200,000 people that you got a brand new car. They don't know. Where is it? Have you drove it? Did you drive in front of them? What is the actions involved on how did they know that you had it? So there's some actions involved on how you should love God or the Most High, right? Or through his Son. Verse 2 says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. I didn't write this. And keep his commandments. So when any church tell you that you don't have to follow the Sabbath no more, and we're going to switch it to Sunday morning, is demons. Okay, period. Because what I read in the Old Testament, it still stands when it comes down to the Ten Commandments. It says, remember the Sabbath, which is the seventh day. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath. That's why the Most High put remember there, because he knew his people will forget the Sabbath. It didn't say nothing about the first day of the week, which is Sunday, the worship of the sun, the pagan Apollyon. That's who you're dealing with. But like I said, I don't want to change this into that, but I had to go this route so we can understand why a lot of us as the election today don't know that we are the elect and we are very important people to the Most High. This is the reason why, because we broke his commandments. We think we can do whatever we want. That's why we're very stubborn, stiff-necked people and very selfish. But that's in our nature today, based on our oppressors. We took on the oppressor spirit because they are selfish. They want everything for themselves. And what we do, we follow them. Ralph Lauren. We got our people buying Ralph Lauren and all this. Let me tell you, a lot of these designers don't even like you, children of Israel. But guess what? We support it because we believe that that's brand name. Now, if I come up with something like right now, I'll get two people of my kind to support it, but it's still brand name. It's just not the big brands. It's always getting you. It's funny how you get that title, Nike. Oh, that's brand name. Not knowing that you're following a deity, goddess of victory. Then the Most High through his Son is the victory, right? You see, and I'm gonna go into information on that. on how, when it comes down to it, if you go that route, if you have a pair of Nikes or whatever, it's not something that, I would consider a sin if you were given or you really need some shoes. That's not, we're under grace. So that's not being ignorant. If you got holes all in your shoes and you see a pair of tennis shoes and they some Nikes, put them on. You got to remember that Joseph, and I know I'm going off a little topic, but I have to go here just so we can understand. Joseph was in Egypt. He looked like an Egyptian. He looked like an Egyptian. He fit in. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with fitting in. A lot of this stuff was given to Joseph, and I brought this out in regards to a brother that asked me a question pertaining to that. But let me just go back to the lesson at hand. So when it says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God. So how do you love God? People say, yeah, I love me some Jesus. Okay, well, we're going to find out. For this is the love of God that, I'm sorry, let me just stop playing. For this is the love of God that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. I love Jesus because I hear that and I'd be wondering what they, some people like, how do you show that you love God? Well, you got to stop sinning. But what is sin? We're going to find out that too. For this is the love of God that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous, which means it's not something that's going to kill you. It's not to be grieving over. It's not that hard to do, because the same aisle that they sell pork, it's the same aisle they sell hamburger. Get you some hamburger, or get you some chicken or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to eat pork. That's killing you. A lot of people don't know why they, but I've been eating it for 100 years. I'm still here. But yet you can't spell your name. Or you do 7 times 7. A lot of people, it's still something that's off with you somewhere. Maybe it's, you're not being as agile as you should, or you're not thinking correctly. That's what pork does to the brain. Okay, that's what, that's why the Most High told us not to eat this stuff. Like, you got most of our people that eat a bunch of shrimp, crab, and lobster, their esophagus swell up or have some type of reaction to it. Like they need a Benadryl or something so they don't kill their crazy self. So the other nations can eat it because they wasn't given the laws. When it comes to us, we get allergic reaction to it. Even when it comes down to the brothers, and when it comes down to our beards, the other nations can shave and all that. But when it comes down to us, our hair is coarse. We break out. We don't supposed to be putting razors on we're just different. The Most High was trying to protect us. Okay? That's mainly the reason why he loves us. So if we really love him, all we got to do is just do our best to keep his commandments. Okay? That's just pretty much what it is. All right. So let me just show you. All right. So let's go to Psalms chapter 9, verse 17. All right. Psalms chapter 9, verse 17. All right. Psalms 9 and 17. And it says, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. All right. So the reason why I wanted to bring this out is because when it talks about stolen waters are sweet, because see, what happens is they took, and like I said, this information is abstract. We forgot who we are. So what they did is they took our records, stolen water. Okay. Even though this is dealing with the wisdom and the foolish, and like you would say, like foolish women and things of that nature. But usually when it comes down to it, if somebody takes something from you and it's very valuable, they can use it for their own good and it's sweet to them. But this is the reason why. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. See, it says, And it says stolen waters are sweet and bread eaten in secret. Bread eaten in secret. So they're stealing your information, getting riches and goods in secret is pleasant to them on this in this world, right? But he knoweth not that the dead are there. So sometimes you partake, some of the other nations partake in it, not knowing that there's some death is around the corner. You're gonna perish, you're gonna go to hell. That's what the scripture is saying. And that her guests are in the depths of hell. Okay. So that's what's gonna happen. You dealing with stealing people records. But this is what's going to happen to the other nations. Stealing people records. Now you get your, you got your bread, your daily sacrifice, which means you got your goods and your caviar and your $200 steak and your gold plated plates, and you just living a luxurious life and let your lavish life based on our riches that you stole, Solomon's gold. Okay, you spread us all out all over the place, called us slaves. Now we're considered human resources under your jobs. Okay, that's what we are. So let me just stay on topic. Let's go to Psalms 50 verse 22. Psalms 50 verse 22. Now consider this, yet that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. Now consider this, yea, that forget God. How do you forget the Most High? You forget him by not keeping his commandments. You think, oh, I know who God is. Okay, so who is he? Has he revealed himself to you? The only way he's going to reveal himself to you is based on you following what he tell you. It's just that simple. Okay. Lest I tear you in pieces and there be none to deliver. So nobody's going to deliver you. Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing this out is because when it says election, from the word electricity, election is the people that are the elect, which is from the election of grace, because of grace, we have a grace period to get ourselves together. Okay. I'm not exempt, we all need to be, fine tuned, but this is the way I keep myself living holy. It's just constantly keeping yourself active and doing things that's positive towards the Most High. Staying away from a bunch of fornication and a bunch of women and all that. For myself, you know how us brothers are. Our eyes start with lingering and wondering, and we all caught up into something we shouldn't be dealing with. You see what I'm saying? But based on this, and it says very clear, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. Okay, so that's Psalms 9 verse 17, and I think I went to Proverbs 9 and 17, but that correlated with the lesson. All right, so let's go to Psalms 50 verse 22 again. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces. Now this is the Most High speaking through David. Okay, these are not my words. The Most High is telling you that he's going to tear you in pieces. Well, we got grace through Christ now. Romans 6:1 says, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. Now, some people may not know, and I have to go through it. It's like since the second lesson, the still milk. I have to go through this real quick. So let's go back to 1 John. Let's go to 1 John, right? So we're going to find out what sin is. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute here. One moment. One moment here. Okay, I forgot exactly where the scripture is. Give me a minute here. I'm looking for something. One moment, folks. I should know what this is. My mind is clouding right now. One moment. Oh, wow. Right in the face. Okay, let's go to 1 John 3, verse 4. That's what I was looking for. I don't know. I forgot where it was. Slack it. 1 John 3 and 4 says, "For whosoever committed sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law." So now we know what sin is. So when it comes down to it, if you break a commandment, you're sinning. That's what sin is. Sin is not, I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking. That's common sense. You're not supposed to be doing that anyway if it's leading you to kill yourself. That's just a lot of things should be common sense. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to actual sin, sin is a transgression of the law. Okay. So the reason why we are a dejected people as a nation, we forgot who we are as people, and we forgot the Most High. We forget God. So, all right. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. "Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth." Get wisdom, get understanding. Okay. Let me just show you something. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. "The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom." Instructions mean it's talking about law. There's only one way you can follow the Most High, through his instructions. When you read the law, those are the instructions. You see what I'm saying? To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom. Because it's wisdom to keep the law, the commandments, right? To receive the instructions of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. A wise man will listen so he can increase in learning. And a man of understanding shall attend unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the word of wise and their dark sayings. You see where that's another scripture where it's actually linking close to this it correlates with the lesson, election, abstract. We don't understand because a lot of the times the scripture is going to be dark sayings, which means it's going to be a parable. It's going to be metaphorical or esoteric. That's what it's actually saying. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. You see where it says that? The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. So you got to respect the Most High, but you got to understand how you're supposed to do that. All right. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. So that means fools despise the law. That's what it's saying, because there's no other instructions in the scriptures. So to understand how to follow the Most High is based on his instructions that he gave Moses. Give this to the children of Israel. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Thou shalt not commit fornication. Okay? They tell you can do whatever you want nowadays. All you got to do is ask for forgiveness. Well, okay, that's cool. We're not. We do slip. But the problem is, once you do that, will you continue in that? Okay? So let me just finish what I have here. So what I want to do is break down the word city. Okay? So we understand what election means. All right, so let's go to Romans 11 and 5. "Even so then, at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace." That's why I wanted to bring. There's just a remnant, just like when you see that remnant in Revelations 12 or 17. There's a remnant of us that's considered his elect. Election is just talking about his children, the children of Israel right here. Okay. Of course, the other nations are included, but without these people, his elect or his election that he chose during this time, they won't understand how to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So election, according to the election of grace. So there's a grace period. The Most High died, brought his son here to die on the cross for our sins. And for the elect's sake, the times have been shortened. Okay, so let me just show you. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. And I'm going to break down this word. Like I said, I don't want to make class too long. So let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew's 24, verse 22. And it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. For the elect's sake, the days shall be shortened. That's why I try to tell our people how powerful you are. Because you still live, the Most High allows the earth to continue, the world to continue because of you, because of the melanated people all throughout the four corners of the earth. That's why our people get caught up in the word melanated, not knowing their vibration and all that. And, you know, you got the brother, the 13th son and all that. He be saying, yeah, we the people, we're the melanated people. We keep things going and all. Yes, that's true. But why? You have a duty to do. To whom much is given, much is required. You have to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You have to understand how to break down the scriptures. And this is the route that I believe that's one of the best ways to do it, to dissect your brain, to get off the junk that they've been teaching us. All right. So even so then Romans 11:5. Even so then at this present time also there is a remnant. At this present time, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Okay. When it says according to, it's actually talking about the number of the children of Israel that is written in the book of life. Okay. So the word city, electric. Okay. 1 minute here. Okay. I'll write it again. Oh, good. Electric. And then you get the word city. Election, because that's what that's going to lead you to. Then we're going to break down this part of the word city. All right. And this is going to blow your mind. This may be a little longer than an hour. Okay. Not too much longer. The word city in the Hebrew is Arvad. And it's Hebrew number 719. And it says probably from, or which means more than likely 7300, a refuge for the roving. Now hold that sticking in. Like I said, I have to read this a little bit longer, so we can, I have to constantly read it because I want this to make sense. Arvad, city, is a city in the Hebrew, 719. Okay, Arvad. That's how you say that's how you say city in the Hebrew. Probably from 7300, and I'm going to go to 7300. A refuge for the roving. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, matter of fact, I'll put it up on the screen. Okay. When it says minute here. I want to put this up on the screen. Okay. 1 minute here. Now, remember we broke down the word rover, okay, in the first lesson. I hate when it does that. Okay, Greek number. See where it says planet or an erratic teacher wandering? It is talking about the fallen angels. That's what we got to know. Rover. A rover is a falling angel. An erratic, when it says erratic teacher, because what they've done is they possess mankind to deal with a philosophical type teaching when it comes down to any type of world history, or they deal with a bunch of false teachings, wandering. Okay. So, like I said, I can't keep constantly going back to the first one, but this is what the word rover comes from. See this right here? Roving. Now, we're in city, okay? City, all right? I'm going to read it again. Hebrew number 719. So let me put that up. Hebrew number 719. Arvad, a refuge for the roving. That's deep when it says refuge, like a refugee, refuge for the roving city of Palestine. So what these people do, they have angels. See, a lot of people don't understand, and I want to make this very clear. A lot of the so-called, like when it says Arvadites, this is another bloodline of Esau. Okay, Arvadite, when it says here. That's why it's very. That's why we got to know that these words here, the English language links to the Greek and the Hebrew, because before it was English, it was Hebrew at first. Hebrew is the first original language, and every other language stems off the Hebrew. Okay, so that's what we got to know. That's why I mean, everybody should have signed up for these classes, because I know what I'm getting into. I know it's very important. All right. So when it says for roving, a refuge, or vard, okay, for city in the Hebrew. City in the Hebrew is 719. Arvad. City. We talking about like electricity, city, okay? Refuge for the roving, Arvad in islands, city of Palestine. Why is this talking about a city in Palestine? You would think, oh no, it's just talking about a city in Palestine. No, it's deeper than that. I'm gonna show you why. Let's go to Luke. Let's go to Luke 21. And let's start at the 20th verse here. And it says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. It's talking about Daniel, when Daniel prophesied about the 70 weeks. All right. Verse 21. Excuse me. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains. So what our people were supposed to do, we were supposed to flee into the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, Africa, and all those areas over there. That's what it's talking about, the Atlas Mountains. Then you lead us. We migrated away from North Africa. Some parts of us, we still over there in that area, some parts, but usually a lot of us are in West and South Africa. That's why we had the certain words, Nigeria and all that, Niger River and all that. And let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there should be a great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. When it says with child and give suck, we all know that it's talking about a woman having birth, and she's nourishing her kid. It's going to be a woe, be punishment. And there's a book called the Josephus, when you can go to the part where it talks about the war of the Jews. It goes into how there was a sister actually eating her child. Okay, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. It's talking about those of us that stayed in the land at that particular time, didn't take heed of Christ's words here. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. Now, this is in Luke telling us that our people will be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So now, the reason why you're seeing this word here, when it says refuge, roving, because a lot of these people that's in the land today of Palestine, so-called, because when you read this word, actually, this links to the word Philistine. So what happens is, and you see this one here, right? Look at this, which is fugitive and Israelite. You see how deep that is? Arad. Because what happens is, now mind you, all I did was put in the word city in the Hebrew. Okay, look. It's going to lead you to 719. See that? Avad. And then look at this one here, bad. You see that, right? Separation. What people were separated? A part of the body, branch of a tree. That's where we come from. We are the children of Israel. We were broken off. That's why when you read in Romans 11, it talks about the natural branches. You see that, right? City. So most of our people, matter of fact, when you put in in dictionary.com, and I've done this before. Let me just show you. Dictionary.com, right? This is how easy they're making this information. You put in the word ghetto. Okay. A section of a city. Let's just look at two. Okay. Formerly, in most European countries, a section of a city in which all Jews were required to live. We were required to live in their cities first. That's why usually, and now they're taking over their cities. But this is how we are today. Now, why would this link to the word ghetto? Why? Because it's talking about us. It ain't talking about those so-called fake Jews that's in the land today in Palestine. Okay? Because verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive. That's what's going to happen to us. We're going to be taken out of our land, and then it's going to be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So what you see in the land of Israel today are Gentiles, period. That's who they are. They're not the true Israelites. They're not the children of Israel. They're Europeans. Okay, they're Khazars. They're from Poland and all those areas in Europe and Rome and things of that nature. They're not the original people. So any person that believes that they're the children of Israel have been psyched. Okay, they really did a number on your brain. Now, it's real easy when you look at the scriptures, you see city here, and it's not a coincidence that you see the word refuge, the roving, because what these people have in them, and it says Palestine, they have a particular DNA in them. They have the falling angel DNA in them. That's why it says Avad. When you read more, when it says, this is 17, it is say fugitive, and then Arvadite, or a city, because Arvadite links to Esau and his bloodline. Okay. Pretty simple. All right, so now let's go to Hebrew number 7300, because it says here 7300. And watch this. All right. Rude. Rude. You know how we come with that term, oh, you're so rude. Look at this. What people right now have trampled over us. Now, think about this, right? If Why would this link to the word city? You see that, right? Look at this. Marud, 7300. An outcast. What people are outcasts? That don't know who they are. Cast out. Misery, destitution. You see this word here? Look, it's telling you again. Back to the word abstractly. This is all in the word city. That's why I say in the other video, man, this information is so deep. It's extremely deep, man. Like, really. Then it says look at this one here, rude. To tramp about, ramble, free of disconsolate, have the dominion, be lord, mourn, rule. These people are going to rule us. They're going to be lords over us, and we're going to mourn, and they will continue to rule. But at the end, of course, they will meet their maker. Okay. Period. But I had to show that. All right. Now, this is how you understand, since some of you may not know that this links to the word rover or roving. Like I said, these are falling angels. Now, let me show you. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12. Okay. All right. These are not my words. So we're just going to read. And I'm going to start at the I'll just start at the 15th verse. But once you read here, there's a war going to happen. And what's going to happen is, let me just kind of give you an overview. It's going to be one tribe. You're going to see it's going to be 6,800 of one tribe. It's going to be 7,100 of another tribe. It's going to be 22 captains. It's going to be 3,000 of another tribe. It's going to be 20,000 of 800 of another tribe. 18,000 of another tribe. 250,000 of another tribe. 1,000 captains. 3,700 of another tribe. 28,600 of another tribe. 40,000 of another tribe. So totally, it's going to be it's going to be 332,522 of our people coming together against these people here that I'm about to read about. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 21. Okay. Now, I may get into the story on next class so we can understand and link in this word rover, because the next thing I'm going to break down is that word there, rovers, as you see over. And I'm going to show you the reason why that's in there. All right. So, and it says, and they helped David against the band of the rovers, for they were mighty men of valor and were captains in the host. Okay. For at that time by day there came to David to help him until it was a great host, like the host of God. And these are the numbers of the bands that were ready armed to the war and came to David to Hebron to turn the kingdom of Saul to him according to the word of the Most High. And then it's going to it's going to tell you about the children of Judah that bare shield spear were 60,800. Like I read, 6,800 of the children. Then you got Simeon, men of valor, 7,100. So you got 7,100 of the children of Levi, 4,600. You see that? And Jehoiada was the leader of the Aaronites, and with him were 3,700. All right. So, like I said, I just wanted to show you all that we all band together. But see, during this time, even some of us were having conflict with each other, with different tribes. Back then, we always was fighting each other as well. But usually when it come down to the other nations, we all band together. Or like when it came to either now or Rodney King or whatever, we forgot that we was beefing together and we all band together and came, and it started that Rodney King thing changed a lot. Okay. When it came down to Martin Luther King, we may be fighting all together, but we all band together and came together. When it came down to the Rodney King thing, they had to pull out Jesse Jackson to calm our behinds down. It was about to be a game changer. Okay, that's what was about to happen during that Rodney King riot. Things was about to change, so they had to bring out the Uncle Tom. So that's what I call them, to hush us up, to keep us calm, to sedate us mentally. Okay, but anyway, trying to stay on topic. So the rovers links to planet or erratic teacher, planetus. These are the falling angels. All right, that's who they are. That's who they are. All right. Anytime you hear the word rover, it's talking about angels that like a rove. What they do is they go to and fro in the earth, and just like they do today, they deal with like just a spiritual warfare. They're demon possessed people. Okay, that's what happens. But during this time, these rovers were actually hybrids. Okay, so I just wanted to show that. All right, so the next thing before I get into the word rover, we're going to break down the word. We're going to break down the word kingdom. We're going to break that word down in next class, and I'm going to show you the reason why. And it's going to get, like I said, this thing is going to get bad. It's going to get very deep, you know. So hopefully you all join that one as well. Like I said, it's we're going to keep this thing going. I'm going to keep this thing going here. And the next class will be Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So look out for that class. So it's going to be every Wednesday and Friday for right now. If anything changed, I'll send an email or things of that nature, so you all can have it. So thank you all for joining. I'll see you all Friday at 8:30. All right. Hopefully you enjoy this. If you have any questions, or you can send me an email. What I'm going to do is send you all emails in regards to the next class. The email address just in case you want to contact me. Judite07 is pretty much like a personal email address, but you can send me an email at classes144@gmail.com, and I can get all your information, whatever class. I'll do my best to try to get back with you in regards to any questions that you have. Like I said, it's not that many people that's attending the classes anyway. So, all right. So hopefully you all enjoyed. This is my life, and I'll be doing this for the rest of it. Shalom.